So when it comes to the 8 chapters of good nutrition, how do you incorporate that into your lifestyle? How do you incorporate it into your lifestyle in an easy way, in a manageable way? So take chapter 1, protein. Your needs for protein are unspeakably huge. The average person needs somewhere around half a gram to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So you weigh, say, 150 pounds, you're looking at 75 grams to 150 grams of protein if you want to be optimally healthy from a protein standpoint. How are you going to get 150 grams of protein? An egg has around 7 grams of protein. So you're looking, right away, you're looking at 20 eggs just to get your protein from eggs. From steak or from hamburger, you cook your protein, you don't even really know what you're getting, but it's very difficult to get those kinds of quantities. In order to effectively and manageably get 75 to 150 grams of protein if you weigh 150 pounds, the only way to do it is to supplement. And the only way to supplement with protein is to make sure that you're getting some kind of quality powder. The most important quality protein powder that you'll ever find is whey protein, by far. Whey is a complex food that contains not just protein fractions and not just all of the major protein components, which are called amino acids, but it contains specifically the kinds of proteins that are important for building things, for building a body. Because when you think about it, what is milk? Milk is a substance that mammals produce to build an adult mammal from a baby mammal. Well, those factors that are building are concentrated in the portion of the milk that's called whey. And they're especially concentrated in the portion of the milk that's called whey protein. And whey protein is so easy to get. It's available in any health food store. It's available through the longevity products. And it's really the only way to make sure that you're getting these the concentrated amounts of protein that you need through protein powders.
I mean, people probably know about whey from weightlifting and that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But it's good for everybody?
Heck yes, and I'll tell you why. Number one, if a bodybuilder or an athlete is doing something, we should all be doing it, because just getting your butt out of bed in the morning is an athletic event. Just getting through your day contains an athletic component just to function in your day. So if an athlete is doing something for their performance, you want to think of yourself as an athlete of life, and you want to see what they're doing to improve their performance so you can improve your performance in the athletics of life. So it's true, bodybuilders love whey protein. Why? Because it builds muscle. However, whey protein contains other factors that make this a stupendously important food. Whey protein contains something called lactoferrin, which is a natural antibiotic. Whey protein also contains small components that are called globulins that are important for building the calf's immune system. Well, when you do whey protein, those little globulins that build the calf's immune system, they go into your immune system and do exactly the same thing. So not only do you have proteins and amino acids specific for building, but you have lactoferrin, which is a natural antibiotic, and you have immune globulins that support your immune system, all in one food. That's what makes whey protein the single most powerful food, with the exception perhaps of eggs and human mother's milk. And that's your protein source. Now, some people have a problem with whey protein. Some people have a problem with dairy. If that's the case, you have two options. You can use digestive enzymes, which will sometimes get you around the problem with the allergens in whey protein, or you can use some more exotic forms of whey protein that are more heavily processed. Now, you lose some of the value of the whey protein, but it might be easier for somebody to handle if they have allergies, milk allergies. The second thing you can do is you can go into alternative sources of protein, and there's many. Egg protein is an alternative source of protein. Bean protein, soy protein, not quite as good, but it's an alternative source of protein. Hemp seed protein, again, not quite as good, but an alternative source of protein. Brazil nut protein, pea protein, rice protein. These are all sources of protein that you can use in a supplemental fashion. Now, I'm a big believer in food, but one of the big problems with food is we have to cook it. And we have to process it, whether that processing involves chopping or dicing or freezing or boiling, whatever that processing is. And whenever you process a food, you lose the nutritional value. The beautiful thing about whey protein is you don't have to process it, or protein powders is you don't have to process it. You just add it into water and drink it. By the way, I'm a bachelor. I don't really have time to cook or the inclination to cook. So one of the neat things about whey protein is you put it in water, you drink it, or you put it in your blender and you throw a few other things in and you drink it. One dish to wash, no muss, no fuss. You're well nutriated. That's one of the neat things about supplementing is it's brain fart free. brain damage free. It's easy to do. You just add the stuff to water and you drink it. And that's one of the neat things about nutritional supplements as well, is you can get your nutrients without having to waste a lot of time in the kitchen. As far as food goes, that's a whole nother story, because I think foods are very important. But the less work you give your digestive system, the less work you give your digestive system, the longer you will live. So the key to longevity and the key to health and wellness is to figure out a way to get lots of nutrients without lots of calories. Calories represent heat and calories represent work. Nutrients are, in a way, they're the opposite. Because your body doesn't have to work, the body actually gets work. The body actually gets energy. The body actually gets the raw materials when you take in nutrients. When you take in calories, the body has to process the calories. Calories represent heat. The body stores those calories. A lot of work goes into the digestive process that is bypassed when you use a nutritional supplement program like whey protein powder. And by the way, that's just chapter 1. There's a lot more to it, but that's just chapter 1. Then you go into fat, and another thing, this is another really important thing. Your brain is constantly reading the blood. See, your brain's in the dark. It's in your head. It doesn't know what's outside there. The only way it knows what's in the outside world is by reading the blood that's passing through it. So your brain is constantly scanning the blood for specific nutrients to determine whether you're hungry or not. And when it sees those nutrients, those specific nutrients, it sends the message, hey, we don't need to eat. In other words, it shuts down the appetite. On the other hand, when it's missing those nutrients, it says, go get some food, we're missing nutrients. Well, the key nutrients that the brain is looking for to determine appetite, or lack thereof, is tryptophan, which is a very important amino acid, you can think of it like a protein, and glutamine, which is another very important amino acid, and you can think of it like a protein. So essentially, the brain is reading the blood for specific proteins to determine whether you're hungry or not, or whether we're hungry or not. So if you want to shut down your appetite, protein is your best friend. Concentrated protein is your best friend. If you want to lose weight, concentrated protein is your best friend. Because what happens is your protein levels in your blood rise, and as the blood goes through your brain reads the protein levels and it says, all is right in the world. Now, it's specifically reading the blood for these building amino acids, specifically tryptophan and glutamine, which from an evolutionary perspective, these were the amino acids that were in the foods that we hunted. Back when we were paleological, when we lived on the African savanna 50,000 years ago, tryptophan and glutamine meant we just killed a wildebeest, or we just killed a zebra. And it's summertime on the African savanna, and all is right in the world. So you don't have to go eat. Now we can take all that energy, we can put it into muscles. Conversely, when tryptophan levels are low, and glutamine levels are low, protein levels are low in the blood, the brain reads the blood, it sees the protein levels are low, the amino acid levels are low, the tryptophan and the glutamine levels are low. Guess what it does? It sends you out to go find food.
Store up anything you can find.
Store it, exactly. And what kind of food? Sugar, because sugar is very important to the brain. So when your protein levels are low and your amino acid levels are low, tryptophan and glutamine, you're going to be on a one-pointed, highly focused hunt for sugar, and your brain is going to take that, your body is going to take that sugar, and under orders from your brain, it's going to store it on your gut or on your butt because it thinks a famine is coming. It thinks wintertime is approaching. So protein, ingestion of protein, proper ingestion of protein, tells the brain that all is right in the world. It's summertime on the African savanna. There's plenty of food, and we can put all those nutrients into building muscle so we can go out and hunt and do all the things human beings are supposed to do. Protein is a dieter's best friend. And I hate willpower. I don't have any willpower, and I don't believe dieting or good health should be a question of willpower. Because to me, willpower is this battle that's going on in your body. And that's not a good thing. You don't want to have a battle going on in your body. Good health should be as easy as a piece of ripe fruit just dropping off of a tree. And when you give yourself high protein, when you give yourself concentrated amounts of protein, 0.5 gram to 1 gram per pound of body weight, you'll find that your sugar cravings just naturally go away. If you don't have enough protein and somebody puts sugar in front of you, you can have all the willpower you want. You're going to have a tough time turning that sugar down. You'll be like, my diet starts tomorrow. And that's what most people do. But if you go to your party where there's going to be the birthday cake or the cherry pie, you go load it up on protein, it's going to be much easier to withstand the cravings and the urges and the drives, which are really hardwired in your interest. Remember, your brain is in the dark. It doesn't know it's in the year 2011 in Austin, Texas. It thinks it's on the African savannah 50,000 years ago. So you have to give the brain what it needs in order to be happy on the African savannah 50,000 years ago. So protein is chapter 1.
We're going to get into a whole lot more. You'll see it later this week, but for now, that's it for the InfoWars Nightly News. Stay tuned and visit the website, InfoWarsNews.com. You can become a subscriber. We have a holiday special through the end of the Christmas season where you can get a membership to PrisonPlanet.tv that you can share with 5 or more friends at a very good discount. $39.95 instead of $71.40. You can also get 18 DVDs with that membership, 70% off. 18 physical DVDs in shiny plastic wrappers you can give out to people, give information this Christmas and holiday season instead of Chinese-made plastic junk and otherwise being a slave to that system we were talking about. We'll be back. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned.